Welcome to the Week in Italian Startup, where we discuss the latest highlights happening in the Italian tech and investment ecosystem. Welcome, Nick. Welcome, everyone.
Ciao, Jack. Welcome back to the Week in Italian Startups. How are you?
Very good, very good. So, busy week last week, like a lot of things happening on different fronts, both from the startup part and the corporate VC part. And some sad news, unfortunately, but let's go through it systematically. So starting from the biggest round of last week is Aryel, AR startup raising 3 million euro in a round led by Prana Ventures, with the participation of also several business angels. So this is the biggest of last week, if we include only Italian founders raising in Italy, and then we'll say why. It is interesting because actually AR is becoming more and more popular, and this is a very interesting combination of tools. So we have AR tools for marketing through a no-coding platform. So if people check the platform, they can see really how this product can really evolve the new ways of doing marketing on different social media platforms, and not only that, even in e-commerce websites. So I thought it was particularly interesting and definitely something that we see on a growing trend. So that's making AR more democratic and accessible to everyone, all brands.
Yeah, or in a way, taking it away from the hands of developers and put that in the hands of marketers. So
good point.
But the basic idea, I mean, we've seen it in several other verticals, no? The basic idea is I create a catalog, basically a marketplace of assets that you can use in your AI campaign. And you speed up all the operations, all the process for the marketing team. So you are up and running with quality assets in a very small time. Otherwise, you would have to create them from scratch by yourself. And that will be a lot of agency work. And that's where probably I believe their play is up and running with quality assets in a quick way. And from the article and from the customers that they boast, it is working.
And something we see actually also on social media. I mean, AR games, AR engagement tools. It's something that is becoming very, very popular. So definitely there's something there for sure. Awesome.
Yeah, I also believe that there are infrastructure elements that have made this all very easy, very possible. Unity, for example, is the 3D engine that powers almost all of 3D that you see on mobile. That's a younger note. That's a huge, very powerful platform that enables a lot of very fancy stuff with very little code. So they stand on the shoulders of giants in a sense.
Building on layers. That's
building on layers. Shall we say something about the investors? So Prana Ventures.
Let's do it. Yes.
They also were the lead investor in the seed round, let's call it so, of the startup that raised originally 700,000 euros. And they're leading again in this round. Prana is a first-time fund, not a huge one, a seed stage fund. And they made quite a few investments in the marketing, services, digital area. And what I found interesting is the group of business angels that participated to the round. So there are pretty good and diverse names over there. I don't know whether you saw the article.
Yes, a lot of families actually. What caught my attention actually was the chef from a restaurant, the 3 Michelin star chef, Da Vittorio. So the family basically invested. I thought it's the first time I see something like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. Besides that, huge family offices, huge CEOs of companies, even tech companies. So that's really cool. All right, moving on. ABZero, drone delivering startup, raising 200K from business angels and crowdfunding. So I'm glad to see this deal because it's something that I've been on and off following. So I've seen the guys basically from their first ideas up to now. So that's really good news. love absolutely the idea, which is essentially they're developing a technology to deliver organs and blood in a very effective way through drones. So apparently the big problem is that a lot of blood and organ for transplant are discarded after transport. So the problem is pretty relevant. So they're developing not only the flying security patterns, but also like a box which monitors quantitatively all the elements in a way that everything is delivered in the best possible conditions. So definitely like something that can be potentially extremely huge for sure. So it's not just the the Amazon Prime drone delivering you the bottle of ketchup because you need a burger, but it's actually something which has like a huge, like a bigger impact. So I totally enjoy that.
Yep, I agree with you. That's a very good goal to have. But I found it interesting from the article that they are also considering to expand their TAM quite a bit, because the article says that they're gonna explore also more more normal verticals for drones delivery. For example, everyday stuff like food and groceries and stuff like that. So if they crack the hard problem, bringing blood around, they will also try to address a much broader market for your groceries. So are you expecting your groceries by the window now, not by the door anymore?
Aspire, Singapore-based B2B fintech startup founded by two Italian entrepreneurs, raised 10 million euro in Series C round. So that's an interesting company also, because essentially they're simplifying basically cash flow and finance management, especially for tech companies and startups. So they have really lean tools, which includes multi-currency, multi-company tools, and in a very clean and easy to use dashboard. So basically, we've seen companies doing that in some way or another. I think what's specific for them is really that they're hitting sort of the Asian market and its complication, probably because for sure there is like different complication than Europe or the US. So Asia needed that kind of tool for the growing startup ecosystem, and they just targeted it precisely. So I thought it was very interesting. The raise is not small for sure, so that's definitely impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Impressive, that's for sure. So and investor base was impressive as well, because among the investors we have Lightspeed and Sequoia Capital, Tencent, Prana Ventures. So that very good house names, I would say. And the startup from the article again from Crunchbase, they already had raised almost $200 million. So pretty much heavyweights. Yeah,
definitely
moving fast and heavyweights. But I really enjoy seeing expats. That's probably the keyword here, doing well and raising capital in other markets. So very good. Awesome.
Talking about new venture funds, Panakes Partners announced the first final close of Purple Fund, 175 million. So that's extremely relevant, because this is currently the biggest active medtech fund, which is deploying capital. Panakes has been around. We talked about Panakes many times as some of the lead investor in medtech in general, and definitely a good news for the team.
Yep, I agree with you. This is the second fund, I believe, by the firm, even though on Crunchbase I see 3 of them, but probably double entry. From the previous one, from 2016, they raised 100 million, and now with this one, 175, so increasing assets under management and firepower. So very good for the team, very happy. And as you said, the biggest and one of not many funds deploying in the medtech, specialized in the medtech area.
Yeah, What is also very cool is that it's a pan-European fund, so they're not only looking into Italy, but they're also looking actively into UK, Switzerland, Israel, and the US. So way beyond the pan-European for sure. So they probably aim to be like a global fund, and that's really like an awesome target. In terms of anchor investors, I think it's worth mentioning the FEI. And the funds of Fund Venture Italy from CDP Venture Capital. So FEI is essentially supported by the European Union. And
sorry to interrupt you. It's
please.
The European Investment Funds.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
FEI is the Italian way of calling it. So
perfect. And again, here we have like a very great group of family offices participating to the fund. So it's definitely a nice combo of institutional anchor investors plus private private companies, private entities that essentially are also sensitive to medtech and life science in general. Awesome.
Way to go.
Absolutely. We'll see how they move on from here. That's going to be very interesting to monitor for sure. All right, CDP Corporate Partners I, corporate VC fund management by CDP VC reached 300 million with the participation of two new corporations, Newlat and Terna, as LPs. So this is a very interesting model where essentially, I have the sweet spot for corporate VC and how corporation enter the innovation ecosystem. So I really like how they are developing the structure of the fund. So essentially, from what I can read and what I can research, every single compartment or vertical has their own GP in a way, so their own like investment manager, which essentially is focusing in one of the four core themes. And also I think it's particularly powerful. So the themes are industry tech, energy tech, infra tech, and service tech. What is also very well thought of, I thought, was basically how they associate corporation with each of the verticals. So, for example, Newlat in particular is part of the advisory board in the vertical industry tech. So essentially, it's a great combo between an investment manager and a big corporation providing insights. And basically, Terna will have probably the same role in the energy tech sector, and so on and so forth. So that's probably has all the very good assumption to be a very powerful and technical fund, where actually not only have the investment expertise of people, but also the technical expertise. So I thought it was pretty impressive because bringing together also different companies from different industries to have the goal to invest in country sensitive sector. So it's not just corporation just investing whatever, it's actually investing in strategic compartments, strategic verticals, and trying to do it in the best possible way. So I think that's going to be pretty powerful.
Yep. Very nice analysis, Giacomo. Thanks. And what I find interesting is that the way they call it as corporate venture capital. That's interesting because it sounds to me as a hybrid model because CDP is managing the fund, managing the capital. Maybe the corporates are involved somehow in the decision process, advisory board, investment committee or whatever. But they're actually big LPs into the fund, not exactly speaking, just managing their own fund. So it's a very nice approach. Quite new. Probably it comes to mind 360 as a private firm that did something similar with A2A, probably.
Good point. Very good point.
But you don't see that happening often. So very interesting model.
And also the funds under management is pretty substantial. Is right now I think they have 122 million available, and the goal is 400 million to deploy. So that's one of that makes them actually one of the biggest VC in the country. So that's also another powerful sort of giant that is going to play in the field. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, they did something interesting there. So I mean, it's they treat it as a single fund, 400 million, but they're actually investing in 4 verticals, and the fund is
correct
evenly among these verticals. So it's a kind of a hybrid, weird approach. Also in the way they present it. But, again, we'll see how it evolves.
Yeah, the only worry, honestly, that I have is the deployment speed. So far, they only have 4 companies officially in portfolio. So probably the deal flow is way bigger, but the announced investment is 4. So I'm definitely expecting the deployment speed to accelerate pretty fast if they want to sort of match with the regular venture fund sort of structure where the deployment is 2 to 3 years, more 2 than 3 probably. I don't know what's your feel on that, Nick, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see it develop.
Well, that's I'm not sure that in the current situation VC funds are eager to deploy a fund in 2 years, because I mean you don't know the situation in 2 years how will it be, and if you knock at your LP's door in 2 years, hey, I deployed the whole fund, can you give me some money? I'm not so sure that LPs are happy to do that. But again, you're right. The deployment speed is an issue. I believe they will keep up pace because, in a sense, the manager, the partners of each specific verticals are seasoned professionals, so they know what they're doing. So I believe they will keep up pace this year and next year in particular. So I'm expecting more news coming out from those funds.
Awesome. All right, let's turn to the sad news of the week. Fortunately, let's talk about Casavo. So Casavo announced a 30% reduction on its environment, I would say, for the real estate market workforce, with a very interesting letter from the founder of the company. And let's maybe go through some of its point, I think, in general. That's basically like a big. There are several elements which are really interesting, starting from the general economic downturn, which essentially is making the operation really tough. The market condition in real estate are really tough. Interest rates are raising, so it's not a positive big part of the letter. What I really enjoyed also was the kind of the vision that he lays out, which essentially is broken down in 3 steps, where basically says how it's going to downside some of the non-profitable business, and then refocus on what is actually is the core markets. And finally, what is interesting is the shift from growth framework to profitability framework.
Yeah, well, I believe this is a strong signal because, in a sense, the property markets is a strong indicator of the wealth of the health of the economy, and the fact that they are, switching from growth to profitability, so slowing down the expansion and focusing on core business and core markets. It says something about the uncertainty that they see going forward, right? And you're right. They recently raised. It was a Series D, actually, from Crunchbase in July last year. I believe that the investors have been, pushing the management to reconsider the strategy probably in the last few months, and that's where probably this decision, has been originated. In some sense, I don't know. This is just speculation. I was taking a look at the number of employees of Casavo on LinkedIn. There are currently, as of this morning, 580 employees in the company.
Wow.
So 30% reduction is not a small number.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's like almost 200.
Yeah. And so that considers also the foreign entities, right? So it's not only Italy, but also
I
probably
just
is everything.
Open the page and took a look at the number,
so.
and that's 580.
Wow, impressive. Yeah. Sad, but I'm sure they're gonna manage to actually like handle this kind of situation.
Well, somehow one of the reasons that you can put forward is it's either this or you go down entirely, and instead of letting 30% of the workforce go, it's 100%. I don't know. That's I don't know. It is not a strong argument, but it is a startup that it's not profitable. So that's a possible inevitable conclusion in a way, right?
Good point. Yeah. Good point.
So
let's
hope for the best going forward. And
awesome. Moving on. Rock trading, Italy's oldest crypto exchange, suspended trading and withdrawals. So on the sort of the next days from the FTX collapse, the crypto space is really trembling, suffering, imploding, exploding. Everything is happening there, and yeah, it's sad to say that actually even some of the oldest and probably one of the most known platform in Italy is having difficulties. So it's not clear exactly how it's going to end up. I know that there are a few customers already filed. I think some petition against the platform. So it's not going to be it's going to be pretty ugly.
Yeah, that's a sad story. That's for sure. I mean. I didn't expect the rock trading to go down this way. So to have, to create our own crypto moments, as you said, like an FX, FTX, sorry. And I'm surprised actually because it's supposed to be just a marketplace, right? An exchange. So I'm surprised that they have difficulty with funds. Because the leitmotif of the FTX and the others, the other crypto sad stories are related to leveraged products or misusing customer funds. So I hope there is nothing like that going on here, because that would be very, very sad, very problematic. And for the market as well. So I'm thinking about Bank of Italy, Council, all the regulators that would be looking quite closely at what's happening there. And we might see a tightening of rules just because something bad happens to the rock trading. So there are implications that are
Zero point, yeah. It can be snowball really
outside of the exchange. Yeah, exactly.
It can snowball really fast, unfortunately. So. And it actually, yeah, as you say, harm the credibility of like a historic institution that try to be essentially forward-looking, and then here we go, big hit, and then everything is collapsing. So not definitely a good position for sure. Right. On a more positive note, going back to the hype of the moment, AI. So there is an AI for everything. I really enjoyed the link you shared. So Niccolo in his newsletter includes a very interesting link to a page essentially listing systematically all the possible application of AI, and being it ChatGPT or other platforms, and how exactly they do specific tasks. I think they are at 400 and something tasks. Precisely, but of course there are like infinite number of like permutation and combination and extension, but it's pretty interesting. It's a very interesting link.
Yeah, that's almost 1900 AI services for almost 500 different tasks, that ranging from recipes and going to chatting and movie recommendations. I'm just seeing over there. Okay, we just left the crypto bonanza, the metaverse is behind us, and now ahead of us is just AI.
Nice. AI, robots, and that's it. It's way
It's all happening too fast.
Yeah, somebody was saying that on LinkedIn, a good friend, he was like, look, just to remind you, 10 weeks ago, we didn't know what OpenAI was 10 weeks ago. And now, moving, like that's a good segue to the next link you include, which is the Crunchbase January recap, where essentially globally in the VC industry, about 31 billion were raised, and 1/3 of it essentially is for OpenAI. So that's extremely powerful and significant. So it's like mind blowing. What I thought though was kind of a bit on the sketchy note is that if we look into like a 10 billion, more than 10 billion raise in a month, we need to look into two different situations. So one is Ant, the Chinese basically giant, which I don't know, that's kind of interesting, I would say. And the second example of a 10 billion raise in a month is Juul, from the top, basically raising capital from tobacco company. Juul is still making vaping devices. So again, I don't know. I hope it's not gonna be on the same lines.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Historically, I'm just thinking historically.
Okay. No correlation there. Just
it's
data points.
Exactly. Just random data points to spice up the conversation. Today was pretty spicy.
Yeah. Exactly. If you think if this is the top, that's it came pretty fast in 10 weeks. 10 billion for 10 weeks, right? So we'll see how it goes from there.
Yep. Nick, thank you so much for joining. It was a great conversation, really enjoyable. Definitely spicy enough to start.
My God.
All right.
Okay, Jack, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's great talking to you. See you in a week.